This is a gorgeous sight, I have to tell you. First, I want to thank the organizers for their bravery and their fortitude for doing such a dangerous thing in inviting me here to speak. I am sure that Avi Davis is looking down from heaven and smiling. This room is a testament to that great man, and that Karen and everyone else who's involved did not let it fall away. Because I have been in this fight for 15, 16 years, and I cannot tell you how many people have fallen away. Things just don't happen. They are made to happen. And everything that we're witnessing, the Islamization of the workplace, the Islamization of the school curriculum, the Islamization of the public square, is by design. It's by happenstance. And the enemy is counting on you to be more involved in your life, to be more involved in the day-to-day, than to take up this ugly, nasty, brutal fight. Let me tell you something. The rules of engagement in the information battle space are as brutal as the rules of engagement in Afghanistan. We are living in an age of fear. We must have a revolution of the mind and live in an age of the fight. We must fight. I came to this fight 9/11. Before 9/11, I was the quintessential New York City career girl. I love my life, I love my job, I love my fashion. And I realized in that 1 second that my assumed freedom could no longer be assumed. And that's how I came to the fight, and I read Robert Spencer, and I read Bachayur and Ibn Warq. This is how you must react, because you will not like what comes after America. There is nowhere else to go. For those that grumble about Trump, get over it. I have more reason than anyone in this room to grumble. Remember, I was an obnoxious blowhard. And I was a terrible messenger, and I was taunting Muslims because of Garland. But I believe a year later, he's come very far. And the alternative is unthinkable. Unthinkable. Hillary Clinton is a criminal. She is literally, not figuratively, in bed with Huma Abedin. That's an old story, ladies and gentlemen. She's owned lock, stock, and barrel by the Saudis, by the Russians. I mean, when people say, oh, this is the most important election of our lifetime, this is the most important election of our lifetime. It will be unrecoverable. Now, the work that I do, as you know, most of you are subscribers to my website, which is critical, because it's the news that the media will not cover. It's the news that's censored, scrubbed, whitewashed, where Islam is a mental illness, okay? Where Allahu Akbar is scrubbed from every news account. You need to know. And you need to send it around. You're a one-man media organization. You have to, when you wake up and you rub your eyes, you say, what am I going to do today to save the Republic? You must educate all of those around you. I know it's not pretty. It's an ugly war. I mean, if you open your mouth to the gravest threat to our freedom, you are a racist, Islamophobic, anti-Muslim bigot. Now, because of the work that I do, as you may know, it led organically to, for example, the fight against the Ground Zero Mosque, which, by the way, we defeated. Imagine if we hadn't defeated it in the age of ISIS. Mecca on the Hudson. A 15-story mega mosque in a building, not down the block, ladies and gentlemen, in a building that was destroyed in the 9/11 attacks. That was a victory. You know, people are like, oh, the problem is so big and I can't solve it, and how do I solve the problem, and it's too big. I don't know why people approach the problem that way. It's like a doctor saying, oh my God, there's so much disease all over the world, I can't cure everybody, so I'll cure nobody. You attack each one. You attack each problem, and you go after it. You see these things in the daily social fabric of your life. I mean, all the ads, I'm sure you're familiar with the bus ads and the transit ads and the subway ads that I've done. That was a response to vicious anti-Semitic ads. Every ad was a response. They would run a nasty blood libel against Israel, and I would put up, a line of truth. The truth is so radical that people's heads explode. I ran an ad: in any war between the civilized man and the savage, support the civilized man. Support Israel, defeat jihad. I had to sue to get it up because they were rejected. And when they went up, heads were exploding. If you haven't seen it, go to YouTube, watch Erin Burnett and myself having at it. Yes. But you see what happens is you expose them. When she goes, savage, that word is very offensive. It's very offensive. The truth is offensive. I said, did you see the Daniel Pearl beheading video? Was that savage? Well, when she couldn't say that the Daniel Pearl beheading video, was savage, she exposed herself. That's what we do. That's what we do. So I sued in New York, thank my legal team, American Freedom Law Center. Washington we sued. Boston we sued. Miami we came to suit. Chicago. We won them all. Detroit. We won them all, and then what do, the city governments? They ban all political ads. I like to call it the Geller ban, because it's my ads. New York City's Transit Authority has been taking advertising for 100 years. Not anymore. The good news is the enemy can't run their poison. There is an upside. Now, in San Francisco, I'm sure you've seen these disgusting boycott Israel ads. Just so that you know, on September the 5th, we have 150 buses going up with pictures of Palestinian, a fake word, but we're not going to go there today, Palestinian children wearing suicide vests and big guns, and we are calling for the end of U.S. aid to the PA, Palestinian Authority. That's what we do. We have filed a lawsuit against Loretta Lynch. I love it. I love that you applauded and you don't even know what the lawsuit is. It's the first step in suing Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for violations of the First Amendment. How many people in this room have had their Facebook page blocked, banned? Show of hands. Yeah, because they didn't like what you said, right? Well, you know why they can do that? Because under the FCC Regulation Section 230, they are granted immunity. They are granted immunity by the federal government. We're going to fight that. And I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to lose. The key in this battle is education. You know, in the wake of the Hebdo slaughter in France, Muslim leaders, 3 days later, held a conference in Garland, Texas, Stand with the Prophet, in support of the Sharia, of the blasphemy laws, calling for the death of anyone that criticized or insulted Islam. Now, wouldn't that have been a time for Muslim leaders to come out in support of the First Amendment? Yes. Yeah, then. But no, they held a conference in Garland, Texas, in support of the Sharia. So we held a conference in Garland, Texas, in the same room, in the same venue as they did, in support of freedom of speech. Everyone says, oh, you provocative. Excuse me, you're living under the Sharia and you don't even know it. You're enforcing the blasphemy laws under the Sharia and you don't even know it. We held a conference. It was an art exhibit to show how Muhammad was depicted for the past 1,400 years. And people weren't always killed. It's being used, a violent means of intimidation to shut people up. And let me tell you, it's working. Because in Garland, and the winning cartoonist who you saw, the fabulous, the talented, Bosch Fawston, he won a contest. We also held a contest because we're free to draw a cartoon. But In the wake, you saw the media, heads exploding. Everyone blamed me. I mean, even Mr. Trump. I don't think he blamed me today, but I don't think it's in him to backpedal, which, by the way, is okay, and I'll tell you why. Because only a guy like that is going to be able to beat a criminal like her. Let me explain to you what I mean. My man was Ted Cruz. I love him. But I'm telling you, you need a brass knuckles fighter. You need somebody who can ankle bite as good as he gets. He doesn't apologize. And even though he insulted me, I kind of like him for it. Not for insulting me. I don't want you to think I'm a strange woman. I like him for not apologizing, because you ever notice they're always making you apologize? The leftist Islamic alliance is always making you apologize, always. But why did I bring up Garland? A, because we were right. B, I would do it again tomorrow. No venue will host it. It's why I haven't done it again. No venue. Listen, every speaking engagement canceled after Garland. People are afraid. You must be more afraid to be afraid, because that's how grave the consequences are. This denial of reality is catastrophic. Do you know that 2 weeks ago, there was an arrest of an ISIS recruiter in North Carolina, Eric Jamal Hendricks, Muslim convert. And in the indictment of Eric Jamal Hendricks, it comes out that he was the ringleader of Garland, Texas, the first ISIS plot in this country. Nobody talks about it. Nobody mentions it with Orlando, Chattanooga, San Bernardino, Fort Hood. Nobody mentions Garland. I don't know why. It's the greatest story ever. It was a truly American response. It had a divine hand. The jihadis were slaughtered. We exposed a terror network. And nobody talks about it. It's like they're ashamed of it. It's like Flight 93. But everybody lived. This ISIS recruiter, getting back to this arrest, there's a tie-in to the story. It comes out, was communicating with an undercover FBI agent. This undercover FBI agent was in on the planning of the Garland jihad attack. Now people, the left went nuts, saying, look, he said tear up Texas. Look, he was entrapping them. That entrapment, another false premise, another fallacy. I want to ask you something. Could I entrap you into mass slaughtering innocent people? Could I trap you into strapping on a bomb and killing hundreds of people? Could I con you by going, come on, let's do it. Let's go to a Christmas party in San Bernardino and shoot everybody up. And when they're on the floor, keep shooting to make sure they're dead. And he did that in Orlando. And another thing about that Paris attack is what they don't tell you. They don't tell you how those people at the Bataclan were tortured for hours. They don't tell you that the men had their genitals cut off, shoved in their mouths. Women were stabbed repeatedly in the they're scrubbing. Who are they protecting? People need to know. You need to understand the enemy. I do not worry about the fanaticism of the enemy. I worry about the confusion on our side. So the ISIS recruiter is talking to undercover FBI. I don't have a problem with this because that's how you get the bad guys. Donnie Brasco, right? Okay. So what's wrong with the story? Here's the punchline. The FBI agent is communicating. He's at our event. He comes to our event. He's in this room like you. Doesn't have a gun, because there were no guns allowed in the event. He's communicating with the ringleader. Ringleader is asking about security, asking about law enforcement, how many people attend, how many law enforcement officials are there. His answers are not in the indictment. But what's stunning to me is that, okay, let me get my arms around this. You're communicating with the ringleader in Garland, and you don't have a team there? What did you think was going to happen when the shooting began? What did they want to happen? I submit to you, they wanted us dead. What would have had a more blood-chilling effect on freedom of speech? No one would have dared. No one would have dared. But because I understand the enemy and we know what we're dealing with, we always have enormous security. We always provide protection to our speakers, and we always work with law enforcement. As you know, we had SWAT there. It was a law enforcement official who, by the way, got shot in the foot, who took out the 2 terrorists. The moral of the story is you are responsible for your freedom. You are responsible for your safety. You cannot rely on anybody. The United States of America was founded on this basic principle of individual rights. Everything noble and magnificent that we achieved as a nation was a logical fidelity to that principle, and we have seemed to abandon it. What happened to rugged individualism? There are no casual observers in this fight. You must get involved. I have been right all along, and the more right I am, the more ostracized, the more demonized, what was I called here? The discredited anti-Muslim bigot. That was Media Matters 2 days ago. That's what they do. And yet, when they quote CARE, the Council of American-Islamic Relations, they never say unindicted co-conspirators in the largest terrorist funding trial in our nation's history, with half of its leadership indicted for jihad terror-related crimes. Never. I have never been arrested. I have no criminal record, but I am, and you will be too. And what you have to do is every time they hurl these insults at you, you stand taller and straighter and prouder. You have to support the American Freedom Alliance. You have to support our organization, the American Freedom Defense Initiative. We can't do it without your support and without your funding. You have to teach those around you in your sphere of influence. You have to. You know that you're in places when you hear people talking and you know what they're saying is wrong, but you know you don't want to get involved. People are talking like the presidential race is over. I mean, even in this room, people like, he can't win. You're believing the line of your enemy? Is that what you're really doing? He got there. He beat out a very talented field. He got there. Now, are people afraid to say they're going to vote for him? Yeah, they're very afraid to say that. Yeah. You put up a lawn sign, they're going to attack the lawn sign. One guy put up a giant T, and they set his house on fire. That's a war, okay? And if you don't show up for the war, it doesn't mean the war doesn't exist. It means you lost. So when you leave this conference, okay, you have your marching orders. Your marching orders are, first of all, torment people with the truth. I know I do. It feels good. It feels good. Because truth is the new hate speech. Even Orwell would be shocked. Even Ayn Rand would be shocked. You couldn't make this up. If you said to me on 9/12 of 2001 that the defenders of freedom, the voices of truth, would be demonized, marginalized, blacklisted. I mean, when was the last time you spoke at a college campus?
Years ago.
Years ago. Oh, and of course, with the attendant protests. Hate, hate, hate. Not in our state. They're zombies. It's a zombie army of millennials. What a scary generation. You know, when I was a kid, there was an expression, don't trust anyone over 30. Today, it's don't trust anyone under 30. In closing, what I want to say is you have to subscribe. I don't care. One woman was saying, listen, I get your newsletter at 11 p.m. and I can't read it before I go to sleep. Okay? Then read it in the morning. You have to get the newsletter. You can avoid reality. You cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality. You have to support these conferences. This is a nasty, ugly job. ISIS has a fatwa on my head. I can't go anywhere without security. This is America in the 21st century. This is what they've done to our freedom. Oh, and by the way, oh, yeah, I'm the bad guy, remember? Stand up for the truth, and I promise you, we will win. At what cost? I cannot tell you. but I swear on everything I believe in that we will win this war, and it is a war. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.